Welcome to the Hop Edition podcast, brought to you in association with the Malt Miller, your go-to choice for premium homebrewing ingredients and equipment. Whether you're a beginner starting out or an experienced brewer, the Malt Miller has got you covered. So for top quality products and customer service, jump over to themaltmiller.co.uk and tell them the Hop Edition sent you. We would also like to thank all our Patreons for their continued support with running and developing the pod. If you would like to become a member and gain access to exclusive perks and benefits, head over to patreon.com/the Hop Edition. Now it's time to get this pod started, so crack open a homebrew and enjoy the episode.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 123 of the Hop Edition podcast. It's episode 123, which has a nice ring to it. Tonight we're going to be walking in the footsteps of the Belgian monks and dissecting section 26 of the BJCP guidelines, which is Monastic Ales, aka Trappist Ales. And as you can always trust the Hop Edition to do, we're not going to be doing one beer of that section. We're going to be doing all four of those beers from that section. So let's hope you can still understand us nearing the end of the pod when we start to get into the big quad beer. So we're going to be starting out with a Monastic Belgian Blonde, into the double, into the triple, and we'll finish things off with the big old quad. So if you've been following along with our socials, you will know which beers we've ordered for tonight, and which order we're going to be drinking them in now, and hopefully some of you have ordered those beers so you can drink along with us tonight and have a bit of fun. But before we fly into the Worst Smell Extra, let's just give a big shout out to our partner sponsor, the Malt Miller, the premier supplier of all things homebrew. And a very special mention needs to go to the upcoming Love and Beer Festival on October 17th, which is going to be a celebration of all things beer. There's going to be a homebrew bar. There's going to be brewery collabs coming out of your ears. There'll be crazy bottle shares going on. Lots of great food. So you can get your tickets over at themaltmiller.co.uk. Put Friday 17th in your diary. We're going to be there. We're going to be pouring homebrew beer at the festival, and it would be fantastic to meet many of you that listen along to the podcast. Come over, have a chat, have a beer, and we'll have a good old laugh. So while you're over on the Malt Miller website, don't forget to check out the dedicated Hop Edition recipe section, where you're going to find a range of beers that are featured on the podcast. Some of our own creations, and some also from the guests we've had over the years. So, all that said, good evening, chaps.
Hello. Hello, hello.
How are we all doing?
Very good. The other thing about it being episode 123, which I've just realised, is we're drinking a single, a double, and a triple for the first three beers.
Look at that.
And we didn't even plan that, guys. We didn't even plan that.
We just need a little tiny four at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was not intended, but feels quite what's the right word?
Right.
Poetic.
Poetic. Yeah.
It's probably not the right word, but there you go. So Andy, what are we going to be drinking tonight?
Yeah, so we're going to start off with the Westmalle Extra, which is this blue bottle if you've got it at home. So we've cracked that one open just now, so make sure get it poured, join in. The next one after that's the St Bernardus Pater 6, which is the Winking Monk one. I think that was the one I was putting up in the socials. And then is it the Abbey de Rochefort Triple Extra is the third one, and then is it Straffe Hendrik Quadruple is a finisher. So
What a finisher.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I can't wait to get stuck in. So what's the ABVs on these beers? What's the Westmalle Extra?
They climb steeply.
4.8.
That's okay.
On the single or the blonde. Then we're into 6%, I guess. 6.7. That's quite the jump. Then we get into 8.1.
Oh my word.
And then finish up with 11.
Yeah.
So, best of luck, chaps.
Could have been worse on the triple, actually. Some triples are quite a bit stronger than that. So, yeah. But still, it's an exponential climb, really, isn't it, as far as the ABVs go?
We'll be able to boss that, no problem. So, Monastic Ales.
Yes. We thought we'd do a little bit of a explanation first before we get stuck into the beers.
Yep.
Maybe you guys can have a little sup of the single and
Yep.
see what you're thinking of that while I talk us through some of the background on what monastic or Trappist beers actually are. So obviously we're tackling this from the perspective of the BJCP guidelines, which are given as monastic beers to infer Trappist, but the actual term Trappist beers, in terms of what makes an authentic Trappist beer, is referring to beers that are brewed within the walls of a monastery by or under the supervision of living monks, where the profits from that business or brewery are put back into maintaining the monastery, or basically furthering, the pursuits of those monks. So in terms of the BJCP interpretation, monastic is used again to refer to that style of Trappist brewing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's exclusive to beers which have authentic Trappist status. So it might be beers that are kind of a similar style, but they're not actually brewed by monks in monasteries or whatever. So you can actually see an example of this with a couple of these beers. So two of these beers we've got are authentic Trappist beers, and you can tell that by looking at the label on the back there. See the little hexagon that says authentic Trappist product. So that's the legitimate logo that they use. So the monasteries that are recognised under the conditions that they set for what can qualify as an authentic Trappist beer are allowed to use that logo, and the term Trappist itself is actually trademarked as well. So you have to be following those kind of rules in order to be able to use that. That said, so we said that monastic beers in terms of the styles aren't necessarily Trappist as such in terms of authentic Trappist status, but also Trappist beers don't necessarily have to fall within the categories that you would see under monastic styles in the BJCP guidelines. So you can have Trappist beers which are not kind of like Belgian in style in terms of a single or double or triple or whatever. You might have something like Tint Meadow, which is a authentic Trappist beer brewed at Mount St Bernard Monastery in the UK. It's obviously quite influenced by Belgian styles. It's kind of like a British version of a double, but it's made with English ale yeast essentially, so it doesn't have that kind of Belgian phenolic kind of flavour to it as such. And you've also got some within Belgium itself, like Orval, which doesn't really fit into the style guides for anything that comes under monastic beers. It is obviously a Belgian beer, but it's got Brett in it, so it's kind of a mixed fermentation, which doesn't really fit in with any of these styles within the BJCP category.
Right.
So Trappist kind of links to monastic styles, but they're not. Doesn't necessarily have to be one and the same thing, essentially, is where we're getting to with that. So just quickly, a little bit more on this. There's currently 13 Trappist monasteries that produce beer, but only 10 that actually satisfy the criteria for authentic Trappist products. So some of those monasteries might be outsourcing the production, for example, therefore they wouldn't qualify for ATP status, but they might be able to use the term Trappist in terms of the actual description of the beer. Some of the authentic Trappist breweries include Westmalle, which we've got this beer here, can't say the word, Westvleteren, Chimay, Rochefort, which we have one of their beers as well, and Orval. Those are all from Belgium as well, by the way. While all of our beers tonight can be classed as monastic in style, according to the BJCP guidelines, it's actually only the Westmalle and the Rochefort beers that can use Trappist in their name and carry the ATP, Authentic Trappist Product logo, and you can again see that on the back of the Rochefort bottle, but you won't see the word Trappist or that logo on the back of the other ones, which is quite surprising with the St Bernardus one, because you obviously look at the logo on that and you would assume that it is actually an authentic Trappist beer. There is a bit of history with this one which links it to one of the other breweries. I forget which one it was, but they used to brew beers under license for, it might have been Westmalle actually, but I'll look that up in a second. We'll come back to that one when we drink that beer maybe. But yeah, so that one's not an authentic, even though if you look at the label and would think that it must be brewed by monks, but it's not actually.
Must be made by monks because it's got a monk on the bottle.
Exactly.
But it's winking.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just a little bit of background, kind of to fill in what we're talking about when we say Trappist versus monastic, and so on and so forth.
Very good. A good delineation between those two terms, which is useful because they are somewhat used interchangeably at times, aren't they?
Definitely.
Nice. So, section 26 is made up of 4 sections, which we've probably labelled at this point already, but that is 26A, Belgian single, often known as Belgian blonde beers. 26B, which is the Belgian double, which is slightly stronger, tends to be a darker beer. The Belgian triple, 26C, which is a much stronger but pale beer. So again, it's slightly more alcoholic than the double. And then you're in the 26D, which is the Belgian dark strong ale, often known as Belgian quads. Although I'm sure we'll get to that point and discover actually those terms possibly are slightly interchangeable and maybe meant as slightly different things. I don't know. We'll get to that. So we're going to start off with the Belgian single, which is the Westmalle Extra. And the overall impression for this style is a blonde, bitter, hoppy table beer that's very dry and highly carbonated.
Yeah.
There is an aggressive, fruity, spicy Belgian yeast character, and high bitterness is forward in the balance, with a soft, supportive, grainy sweet malt palate and a spicy floral hop profile. So you'd be expecting on the aroma for medium low to medium high Belgian yeast character, showing a fruity spicy character along with a medium low to medium spicy or floral hops, low to medium low malt backdrop, typically bready, crackery, grainy or light honey notes. Fruit expression can vary widely from apple, pear, grapefruit, lemon, orange, peach and apricot. Fennels are typically black pepper or clove, and it says interestingly, bubblegum is inappropriate. So,
but you're not getting bubblegum from this.
I'm not sure I am.
Not particularly.
It's like clove, isn't it?
Yeah.
I find this to be much more phenolic and peppery kind of yeast character to it than the banana or bubblegum type flavour and aroma that you might get from some other Belgian yeast. So perhaps I guess as far as like making one yourself, that might be immediately a point to say, if that's in the guidelines as well, you'd probably be looking for a yeast that is much more leaning into the phenolic side rather than that bubblegum or banana kind of flavour profile, or you want to make sure that you're controlling the fermentation in such a way that you are promoting that flavour as opposed to the other, if it's something where you can control by fermenting warmer or colder.
Bang on. Yeah, bang on. Like my immediate thoughts were just probably fermenting it cooler, just to try and sort of stave off that banana bubblegum note and leaning more into clove. I guess you might also start to have a think about whether you might want to think about a ferulic acid rest, just to kind of perhaps drive more of that
that's a good point.
clove aroma. out of this beer, I tend to like the predominant yeast characteristic I get from it is black pepper,
Very much so.
but with a lot of citrus hop aroma.
Yeah.
And like a really sweet bready malt aroma.
Yeah, there's definitely almost like a hint of honey, sweet bread, like that kind of like brioche aroma on it.
Really
Yeah,
honey-like.
Nice,
From the malt.
definitely.
It's nice.
There's quite prominent bitterness as well. I think that you did mention that in the style guidelines, didn't you? That it should be fairly bitter.
Yes, high bitterness is forward in the balance. So I think it's saying, yeah, it's bitter beer.
Did you guys pour it initially? When I poured the first, because it's a small glass, it came out all nice and clear. And then obviously, as I got greedy, then it went hazy. So
Yeah.
it's bottle.
Bit
It's
of
just
yeast in there, isn't there?
bottle conditioned, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, and the carbonation's definitely there. But I found the same thing, Andy, actually, when I had this earlier in the week, that it poured super clear initially, but then by the time it wasn't even getting greedy at the very end, I think it was starting to go cloudy probably about halfway.
Yeah.
So obviously the yeast is kind of quite
Yeah, it looks like I got caught a bit of the yeast at the end of the
sort of lacks flocculence.
It doesn't compact as well in the bottle, sort of.
Yeah.
No.
But it doesn't matter.
Not really. No,
That's
it's an
nice.
appearance thing. I mean, I'd prefer if it was clear, but it's not an unpleasant visual. You know, it's a lovely colour. The carbonation guarantees lots of head and lacing.
Guideline is generally good clarity as well, so I guess that kind of allows for a little bit of haze on there. But I mean, obviously,
crap pours.
if you pour it properly, then you would get pretty good clarity.
Well, it was clear at the start.
On the yeast topic, where we can, we'll just suggest some homebrew yeast which you could use, which may actually be from the actual brewery in question, or allegedly from the brewery in question, according to some of the sheets and guides that we've got online. And I've lost it now. Where's Westmail gone? So if you want to brew with what is supposedly the Westmail original yeast strain, you can use Y yeast 3787 Trappist High Gravity. Obviously, a bit of a clue in the name there that it must be from one of the Trappist breweries. You could use WLP 530 Abbey Ale yeast, which is supposed to be the same thing. Imperial have it as B48 Triple Double. Doesn't appear that there is an equivalent dry version of that yeast available from anyone at the moment, so you are looking at those liquid yeasts, or I suppose with most of these beers, assuming that the yeast in the bottles is the primary strain, you could be potentially...
I don't believe so. I think they use a bottling yeast.
Okay.
From what I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, so that's always a bit of a risky one, isn't it, to suggest cooking stuff up from the bottles, because if it is a bottling strain, then you're not going to get any of the character necessarily that you would expect from it.
Not at all.
In fact, quite the opposite.
So what do we make? What do we make of the flavour?
We were saying earlier about the bubblegum thing, but it definitely has on the flavour. It's got that sort of bubblegum, or would you say it's not? It's more the clove.
I think it's more clove.
Yeah, I think so.
I get a lot of black pepper. And it's almost like you sort of, for me, you get this upfront sweet, malty, or malt sweetness. that dies off quite quickly. It's quite a dry beer. Dies off quite quickly into the phenolic character that is not necessarily sweet. It kind of leaves this quite dry, almost perceived as savoury because it's clove and black pepper.
Interesting.
Which is quite a unique experience in a beer, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Normally you're sort of being left with some kind of fruit flavour, something that the hops might be bringing.
Yeah.
But actually, definitely not the experience that you're necessarily getting with this beer.
There's obvious bitterness from the hops. I'm finding it quite difficult to pick out whether the hops are contributing
Flavour.
anything else in terms of flavour.
Well, that'll be like the citrus notes that we were kind of smelling earlier, and
Yeah, that could be a good shout. I mean, yeah, maybe SARS or something in this wouldn't surprise me if that was.
Yeah, a little bit of added spiciness. I think there's a sort of there's a herbaceous note.
Yeah,
I think
definitely has a herbal note to it.
Yeah, definitely herbal, and a little bit of kind of a lemony citrus, but that's probably more on the aroma than it is in the flavour.
But that'll be the hops. It's got to be.
Yeah, so basically the guidelines are suggesting that you get an initial malty flavour that's light, has honeyed biscuit, bready or cracker character, grainy but a soft malt palate, and a crisp, dry, hoppy, bitter finish. Which I'm not entirely certain that I agree that this beer. I think it definitely has a crisp and dry finish. I think it has a more phenolic finish than maybe a bitter, hoppy bitter finish.
Yeah, I find the phenolic flavour dominates, especially through the, into the aftertaste, and yeah, just the lingering flavour is all pepper for me.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's moderate, spicy or floral hop flavour on the palate. Moderate esters similar in character to the aroma. Light to moderate spicy phenols as found in the aroma. Medium to high bitterness, accentuated by the dryness, and the yeast and hop character lasts into the aftertaste, which I think is probably what we've been reflecting on. So I think it's meeting those guidelines pretty darn well. I think the only observation I make that it's perhaps like you don't necessarily get such a hoppy finish.
Yes.
Yeah, so mouthfeel. What are you making of the mouthfeel? I'll read you the guidelines whilst you assess. So it's medium to light to medium body, smooth, medium high to high carbonation, and can be somewhat prickly. It's an interesting observation. Should not have noticeable alcohol warmth.
Yeah, it doesn't have. It's not strong as such, but it was. It's got a nice thin sort of crispy sort of body. It's
Yeah.
It's not
Interestingly, a bit further down in the guidelines is where it says style comparison. It compares it to it's a top fermented Belgian interpretation of German Pilsner, and I think that as far as the body and mouthfeel of it is very much in that kind of region, as far as comparing it to what you would expect from a Pilsner, but obviously with this big Belgian phenolic flavour to it as well. So yeah, I find it to be quite a light body. The carbonation sort of makes it kind of fill your palate a little bit more perhaps than what it would otherwise. I think prickly is probably a good term to describe as well, especially with that pepperiness in there as well. Again, I think it matches those fairly well. I wouldn't say that it has medium body as such. I'll definitely be leaning more into a lighter bodied beer, but other than that, yeah.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, prickly is interesting, isn't it? I think the carbonation kind of gives that impression. It's quite a highly carbonated beer, but also super dry. So you get this interesting contrast, don't you, to being super effervescent as you take a mouthful and then you swallow and then it's almost like it's gone.
Yeah.
But it's super drinkable. No, that's what's so great about dry beer, isn't it? It's very quaffable.
Yeah. Again, that's where that lager comparison is very apt, I think, for me, because you could knock this back like you would a really nice Pilsner. That said, I think the phenolic and the pepperiness is just bordering on the point where I would find it a little bit too much for my personal taste. I think you get used to it as you drink more, but I mean, I still like this quite a lot, but generally the more peppery, kind of spicy phenolic Belgian beers are not necessarily my favourites. And it's just teetering on the point where I find that a little bit higher than what I would like for my personal taste, but it actually fits the style guidelines really well. So it's one of those where if I was judging it, it's where that kind of, subjectivity comes in. Would I score it slightly lower on the flavour just because I don't necessarily enjoy that quite as much as a beer that had a slightly lower level of peppery phenolic flavour? Or would I just look at the guidelines and go, well, it matches the guidelines really well, so I need to overlook that and score it quite high? I don't know.
I think you'd be opting not to be judging a style that maybe you're not a big fan of.
Yes. Well, I think there would be a danger of you scoring beers that are not actually as well matched to the style guidelines higher because you like them more when they're out of style. But then that would just be me being a bad judge, wouldn't it? Really, rather than
I think that's basically what you just described. Yeah. Awesome. So I think that's pretty much the long the short of it in terms of style guideline. I think we talk about the vital statistics. So typically your ABV is going to be somewhere between 4.8 and 6%. So this is very much at the low end of that scale. IBUs are 25 to 45, which seems relatively low considering how bitter the beer is. But then the ABV is that bit lower as well that actually you're going to kind of really notice that bitterness. There's not a lot of alcohol kind of covering that up. SRM's 3 to 5, so it's a light beer, and the finishing gravity is somewhere between 10.04 to 10.10.
Which explains the dryness,
Yeah.
Those monks don't fuck about, do they? A hoppy table beer that can go up to 6% ABV. It's like, I thought table beer was supposed to be like 3% or something.
Yeah, I know.
Well, and an interesting bit of history. So it talks about whilst monastic breweries have a tradition of brewing a lower strength beer as a monk's daily ration.
Yeah.
If you're drinking a 6% beer on a daily ration, then good luck to you. So Westmalle began making theirs in 1922. The bitter pale beer this style describes as relatively modern in invention, reflecting current tastes. And in fact, West Velteren, I think I pronounced that correctly, first brewed theirs in 1999. But it replaced older, lower gravity products.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. So we had a few commercial examples to choose from, which also included Chimay Gold, La Trappe Pure, Russian River Redemption. So you're getting a American brewery thrown in there. St. Bernardus Extra 4 and West Velteren Blonde. So if you want, those are all called out as kind of exemplar beers of this specific style. Do you guys do you drink Belgian beer very often? Are you fans of Belgian beer?
I wasn't years ago. Well, it's only probably more recent anyway, that I actually would drink it, and actually enjoy. It was prior, I think, earlier in my beer journey, I would have been like, that's minging. It just tastes of off flavours, you know. It's all phenolics. It just tastes like something's went wrong with my beer type thing. So, but now, no, I do enjoy it. Really enjoyed that actually.
Yeah, I would drink them as an occasional treat, I suppose. I don't go out and buy them regularly, but I certainly enjoy quite a few of the Belgian styles. I quite like triples, so I will pick up a triple if I see that fairly often. And the odd quad or bigger Belgian beer for things like Christmas treats and stuff like that. A bottle of Rochefort 10 quite often finds its way into the basket around Christmas time when I'm putting in the order with beer merchants or whatever. So
they kind of, I do associate those bigger Belgian beers with Christmas. I think that's that whole spice character, isn't it? Almost certain spices that are very characteristic with Christmas.
Spicy, kind of fruit cakey.
Yeah.
Cool.
And our resident Belgian in the chat has just piped in, Gilles, observing that they tend to be very hard to brew.
Yeah.
And homebrew accurately. I'm not sure whether I've ever attempted a Belgian beer.
We were talking about this before, me and Andy, and I've tried. Well, I have not tried. I have brewed a few Belgian style beers. But I don't think I've ever done anything that would fit within the monastic Trappist kind of style categories.
Yep.
It's been kind of Belgian blonde ales, or I think I've done a Belgian kind of Pilsnery type thing. I've done so you would have not what's Belgian wheat beer? The word escapes me. Not Hefe's the other one. Wheat beer. And the one that I was drinking on the last pod, I think actually the again of the Grisette.
The Grisette, yes.
Last night's beers are really hampering me a little bit on the vocabulary recall.
Very
right
good.
now.
Well done.
Because did I see, was it the Malt Miller are going to do, I think this Sunday they're doing a new WHC yeast. It's a Belgian wit strain, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, one to keep an eye out.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but yeah, that's exciting. You wonder if it's just a wheat beer yeast or whether it's just a Belgian yeast. I've done, tell a lie. I mean, I've never made a blonde, a double, a triple, or a quad, but I have made wheat beers. I have made quite a lot of saisons. So I've dabbled, I would say. If you'd classify saisons as Belgian, are they Belgian? French Belgian?
Belgian,
I think so.
French, I think is.
Yeah, sort of somewhere between those two regions.
I've done saison. Done saison, done that, but that's it.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting just to see where we head. So it looks like Truckee is dragging us on to the next beer. He's got bored. He's got bored and he wants to move on. So what we drinking, Trick?
So this is our double, and it is the St. Bernardus Pater 6, or St. Bernardus, however you want to say that. So this is one of the exemplars from the style guidelines. You could have had the Westmalle double, which is also a very, very well-known example, and very nice beer as well, for that matter. This is one of the other ones. Let me just find my BJCP guidelines again. I've lost them. Where have they gone? There we go. Right, so yeah, 26B. Your Belgian double should be a deep reddish copper colour. I think we've definitely got the deep red, coppery, brown almost. So I think a lot of the time they'll look like a kind of brown ale in the glass. Complex Belgian ale with rich malty flavours, dark or dried fruit esters, light alcohol blended together in a malty presentation that still finishes fairly dry.
That's
dark
interesting.
amber to copper in colour. Attractive reddish depth of colour. Generally clear, large, dense, and long-lasting, creamy off-white head.
It's definitely quite a different aroma, isn't it? There's something
It's definitely red.
characteristically different about that on the nose.
Yeah.
Almost has like a slightly creamier aroma. That's what I'm picking up.
There's a slight spice, isn't there?
Slight spice, less pepper.
Yep. I've got a big heat on this as well.
Almost like a kind of caramel sauce
Yeah,
thing to it.
that's what I'm almost picking up, like that sort of caramel sauce,
Yeah.
creamy.
Kind of smells a little bit like when you're doing like a sticky toffee pudding and you've got your dates and stuff in there and you're making the mixture for that.
Yeah, like sort of dark sugar, like melting with butter. Is almost what I get.
Yeah, exactly that.
Mark says he thinks toffee.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. That with a little bit of peppery spiciness in the background.
You come almost like a sort of darker toffee, but definitely toffee type vibes going on there. So good call there, Mark. It smells gorgeous.
Definitely is a sipper.
I'm going to dive in, have a little taste.
I can't believe you haven't even tried it yet.
He was being very disciplined there, wasn't he, when he was doing the aroma?
I like to really get my nose into my beers. I'm a big fan. Oh, that's quite interesting.
Is your head on yours like pure massive?
It was. It's
certainly
dropped
not.
off a little bit. But
Certainly not died away.
it was when I poured it in first.
Oh, this has got the bottom of the glass has got the little, would you call it, the bubble
Nucleation
nucleation
points,
point.
yeah.
So I think that's why this thing's crawling.
I hate nucleation points, just as a sort of side topic. I find them unnecessary, and they just make the beer flat.
Yeah.
It's
Or they
like-
just make it explode out the glass if it's something that is highly carbonated. And it's like,
Yeah.
now it's just going mental and it looks like I can't pour a beer.
It's like why? I can understand why they put them in, because they just want to be they want the
show.
beer to appear to always have a nice head on it.
Yeah. It's a
But
visual thing as well, isn't it? With the
it
streaming
is.
bubbles going up the glass that they want it to look like it's, yeah.
It's almost a bit of a marketing ploy, isn't it? But I always just find the beers not so much like if you're in a pub and you're just like drinking quite steadily, then it's never an issue. But I always find that if I'm sat like watching the telly and I want to just enjoy a beer over the period of like
this.
half an hour to 40 minutes, I always find by the time I get to like the last third, it's just flat. So I've made a point of not using
Nucleated
glasses with nucleated bottoms, which is probably one of the most boring things I've ever said.
Getting old.
That was going into Dull Men's Club territory, wasn't it, really?
Fully Dull Men's Club conversation there, which might best reflect at least 120 hours of the Hop Edition material.
Yeah, to be fair,
Probably
it's pretty
more.
Pretty on theme, isn't it?
Probably being pretty conservative there, to be honest. Nice. So, where did we get to? We got as far as the colour.
Yeah.
Did we
we've
talk
not
about the aroma?
Not done the official aroma, we just talked about what we were getting from the aroma. So, moderate to moderately strong, rich malty aroma with hints of chocolate, caramelised sugar. So we've definitely mentioned caramelised sugar multiple times, or toast. Never roasted or burnt, moderate fruity esters, often dark or dried fruit, especially raisins and plums. I think I mentioned like that kind of maybe slightly date-like character that you might get with a sticky toffee pudding. type aroma. So a few things there that are tallying with what we described it as initially. Sometimes pomme fruit or banana, low to moderate spicy peppery phenols. Again, yeah, I definitely think the phenolic notes are certainly a lot lower on this one. Hops typically absent, but can have a low spicy herbal or floral character. The malt is strongest in the balance with esters and spice adding complexity. Low soft perfumey alcohol is optional. I feel like it matches up to that pretty well.
Well, being an exemplar beer, you'd expect it to.
Should do.
But what are we picking out of all those descriptors? You know, where does it like really feature in that? That we've talked about the caramelized sugar. I'm not sure I'm getting hints of chocolate.
Yes, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say toast really either, to be honest.
No, it's leaning definitely into that like caramelized sugar.
Getting a little bit of banana now. The kind of toffee banana thing is kind of creeping in.
It's almost underripe banana. It's almost got like a more fruity, tangy banana aroma. You know what I mean? It's not like a nice ripe banana.
Yeah.
And it's not that kind of bubble gummy kind of foam banana.
No.
Really strong kind of like hefe type thing. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that, definitely.
I'm not getting loads of like phenolic, spicy, black peppery type vibes.
Not like the Westmalle, was it?
No.
It's a lot more toned down.
Very different beer.
But it's nice. It's like, yeah, toffee, peppery.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a sipper, as I say before. Definitely, you just enjoy.
It's a really complex flavour profile on it as well, isn't it? Like the aroma sort of makes you think it's just going to be quite, sweet toffee kind of flavour, but then there's a bit more to it spice wise, I think, on the palate.
Do you think it also hides alcohol quite well?
Well, that's what I think these Belgian beers are always very good at doing, aren't they? They're very good at hiding their strength,
Knocking you
which
in your
is
ass,
which is the dangerous part. Yeah, I'd agree with you, Andy. I think it's soft, pillowy, nowhere near as dry. But lovely complex flavour.
Yep.
Man, I love this beer.
It is good, isn't it?
Yep.
Really nice. And I'm not sure I've ever had a Bernardus beer before. And when I was coming to try and decide which beers to get and in what order, you've got the Rochefort beers, which I think go from, correct me if I'm wrong, 4, 6, 8 and 10, that kind of go through that range from single through the quad. Then you had the St. Bernardus beers. You got the Chimay beers, and you got the Westmalle beers, and they're all there. And I was like, which one do I? Nearly went for the St. Bernardus quad. So I've heard that's really good. I think, was it you, Tricky, saying that was really good?
Yeah. That's kind of like up there with the Rochefort 10 and things like that as one of the big beers that people always talk about. Again, a nice Christmas one, so maybe get yourself some of that for Christmas this year.
I think I might have to. I might have to stock up with a whole range of quad beers. Although I'll wait until I've had this quad and see which I prefer. Whether I'm a blonde, double, triple, or quad guy.
See the number on the bottle. What does that mean? Is that the percent? Is that a relation to the percent? Like, because you're talking about the 10 and all that. So
good question.
Yeah, I don't know, because obviously, the Rochefort have 4, 6, 8 and 10, I think St Bernardus also have.
Would
Did
that
I
be
say?
Plato?
Yeah, so St Bernardus extra 4. Then this is the 6.
That would. I mean, the original gravity would be higher than that, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Surely.
yeah, way higher.
So-
10's quite low.
Unless it's. Yeah, no, scratch that.
So maybe it is just the ABV, you know, and it's sort of broadly in that kind of range. What was this? 6.7.
Maybe it was the monk
6.7. Yeah, maybe. Shall I ask ChatGPT? Gilles recommended that the well, I'll stick it up on the screen.
Yeah.
There's a 12 is a legendary quad, apparently, from
West.
West
Veletarian.
Veletarium. West Veletarium.
Let's go with that. That sounds
Thanks, Steve, for the phonetic
Steve giving
explanation
us a
on.
proper way to say
He
it.
did,
Thank you,
yeah,
Steve.
yeah. In
Appreciate
the
that.
chat, it's West Velet. West Veletum. I've got it. I've got it. Gilles just he's just having a right old little chuckle in the right, Gilles. I think you need to be translating for us
enjoying
tonight,
just
being
absolutely
our
mangling all of the brewery names. It's, yeah.
oh, enjoy,
send
Gilles.
them, send you the StreamYard link, get them on, so you can do our translation.
Yeah.
It's like Kolsch all over again.
It is. We could have Gilles just doing sort of subtitles for us, or you know, a bit like when you have that sign language person in the corner of the TV, you know. But not that you do sign language; that would obviously be silly. But
Good.
oh dear. Anyway, where did we get to? So we did appearance. We talked a bit about the appearance.
Yeah,
One thing I have
done
noticed
aroma.
with the last two beers is neither have had particularly good clarity on them. This one's not
No.
particularly clear either. So I don't know if that's.
I don't think this poured clear at the beginning either. It wasn't just the yeast
No.
coming out at the end. I think it was kind of a little bit murky.
Yeah.
I even
Yeah.
left a little bit at the end, and it's still hazy.
Yeah, maybe
I mean,
it's
again,
not
it
that
says
fussed.
generally clear, so I think you've probably got a little bit of allowance there for it having a slight haze on it.
I mean, mine have only been sat in the fridge for
Yeah.
what, like
A week?
4 or 5
I mean,
days,
if
maybe.
you were scoring it, you
Came
could
Monday.
probably knock a point off and give it a 2 for that, but...
I mean,
yeah.
you don't score a lot for appearance anyway,
No,
do you? Is
doesn't-
it only
doesn't
out of
make
3,
huge-
isn't it?
It's only out of 3, yeah, so it doesn't
Yeah.
make a huge amount of difference.
That's, a good
That's
point,
interesting, isn't it?
actually. Yeah.
So what about flavour then?
I think Liam mentioned in the chat getting kind of Christmas pudding fruits. I think there's definitely, some dried fruit character to it. You don't necessarily pick up on the aroma, but is there on the palate. A little bit of that, Christmas pudding type vibe is, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much like that. Dark fruit, dried fruit, plum raisin.
With the brandy sort of thing to give the alcohol, but
Yeah.
not strong. This isn't giving me strong alcohol, obviously, I said earlier, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting beer. There's a lot of like layers of flavour that kind of come through, and I think like the immediate flavour is the immediate flavour up front is that like that sugary,
Oh yeah.
like sugary. It's not even malty, is it? Really, it's not. It's not a maltiness to it. It's kind of just a quite sugary, sweet, caramelized toffee sort of thing that just drops straight into that dried dark fruit. That then sort of almost like leans into a still kind of dry finish that gets quite bitter, and it kind of almost coats your tongue, doesn't it? It's sort of as this dry fruit hoppy bitterness that just sort of lingers on the tongue.
Do you think that's the special? Is it special B malt that you can get that raisiny thing?
I reckon there's got to be a fair bit of special B in this beer.
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely does go quite. There's quite a big swing from that initial sweetness to the finish, which does dry out and go a bit more bitter at the end. Yeah, it changes a lot, kind of like through as you're drinking it through the palate. I agree, though. I think there's a very strong kind of like dark sugar sweetness to it initially, and then you get that more complex dried fruit bitterness, bit of spice coming in at the end. It's quite a journey. Quite a journey.
It's quite the journey, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Do we think that finish is essentially Belgian yeasts? Was Gilles' question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is still that kind of phenolic dry finish that we got with the Westmalle as well.
It's just the malts that are causing
Belgian
the
yeasts do
sweetness.
tend to be quite attenuative as well, don't they? So I imagine even though this has that kind of sweet malty thing to it, I feel like this has probably got a fairly low finishing gravity still.
Yeah, so the vital statistics of final gravity can range from 1008 to 1018.
That's quite a big
that's
margin.
Yeah, that's quite a wide range, isn't it? But the ABVs would range from 6 to 7.6.
Right.
So you have got exemplars being Rochefort 6, this one, Westmalle Double, Chimay Red, which I don't think I've had, La Trappe Double. But it also says it's perhaps similar to a Dunkelbock, but with a Belgian yeast and sugar character. Which the Dunkelbock, I'm guessing, might be a bit more brown bread toast, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a bit more sort of sugary, caramelised sugar forward.
They mention caramelised sugar syrup in the characteristic ingredients, actually. It'd be quite interesting to know whether this one does actually have some of that kind of like darker Belgian candy sugar type stuff being used as a significant portion of the grist.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Whatever, or would that give it that sugary, dark, almost molasses-like kind of character?
Yeah, it's sort of very like molasses type vibe, isn't it? Not quite blackstrap, but I like that.
Sugar is on the ingredients list, so
was it?
Yeah, I reckon that's got some dark Belgian candy. They do call it candy sugar, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Candy sugar, yeah.
Yeah, it's where they sort of turn the sugar into kind of rocks, don't they? It's kind of like. I remember my parents having it in a little dish at dinner party for the coffee, and I was like, nice. What is that? And they were like, oh, that's sugar. That's candy sugar. I was like, oh, amazing. So I spent the night pretty much eating it.
Where the fuck's all the sugar gone?
Where's all this really expensive candy sugar gone?
Why still rocking backwards and forth?
Yeah. Oh, it's still not gone to sleep. It's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's off my nut on candy sugar. It does look. Yeah. You got to be careful with the rocks.
There you go.
Nice. Well, yeah, I am enjoying this beer actually. Which of the two would you say you prefer?
For me, this one. I mean, the obviously very different beers, so it's not almost like not really a a fair comparison in a way, is it? Because like Andy said, this is very much a sort of sit back, relax, and enjoy as a sipping beer. If I was, wanting something that I could drink a few of, it would the first one would be a much more obvious choice.
Yep.
But just just as far as my own preference, I think I prefer this one out of the two so far for me.
Well, yeah, I think it's totally unfair. Sort of just your preference is going to like lean into your decision, isn't it? Like if you prefer paler, lighter beers, then you're going to say the first one. If you don't mind darker, bigger beers, then you'd probably say the second. But I'm with you, Trick. I think I prefer the double over the
it's a bit
blonde.
More interesting for me. A little bit more complexity to it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Well, but then it's like it's back to the homebrew. It's like, what one would you rather have a keg of? And if that's the question, then it's back to the Westmalle, because that's going to be a lot easier to drink through.
Yes, I think that's true.
So
this would be a candidate for a beer that I'd potentially actually put into bottles.
Yeah.
But longer term kind of storage or whatever, and maybe even do even a bottle conditioned, batch with it as well, perhaps.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't. Speaking of doing it as a homebrew version, as far as I can see, there isn't anywhere that has an equivalent homebrew yeast for the St. Bernardus or Bernardus strain. But this does take us back to what I was kind of alluding to previously, as far as there being a bit of a link between this brewery and authentic Trappist brewing. So although you might look at the label and think that's a little bit misleading that they've got the monk on there, if you look at the history of this brewery, they did actually brew under license up until around about
90s?
the early 90s. Beers under license for the brewery whose name we can mangle a little bit more now, West Volunteering, and at the point where they basically came up with this authentic Trappist product branding scheme, and then obviously they went, okay, well we're not going to brew beers under license anymore, because that would not qualify then under that kind of labeling thing. But the actual site that the brew was on was also somewhere where Trappist monks did actually live and operated, not a brewery, but I think they were operating a dairy and doing cheese making and things like that there. And then that they went away, and the area has actually obviously got that kind of Trappist history to it, as well as them working as a brewery under license for West Volunteering. So there is obviously some very sort of close historical links there with Trappist monks and Trappist brewing, even though they're not an authentic Trappist brewery as such. So
was it Johnny at the Craft Beer Channel went over and filmed the brewery and stuff like that, and got some interviews with them, didn't he?
I think you might be right. Yeah, I've not actually watched that one myself, but maybe one to go back and have a look at if you want to learn a little bit more about that.
Yep. Cool.
So how do we feel it matches up as far as the style guidelines then? Do you think it's pretty bang on, or is there anything there that you think would maybe be scored down on perhaps at all, or?
It's pretty awesome, isn't it?
I mean, I think it ticks most of the boxes. It may be one thing that Owen was saying as far as it perhaps not having a really obvious and strong kind of malty character to it. There is... The term malty is used a lot in the descriptors. I think maybe if you were being a really picky kind of judge, you might say, well, does it actually have enough kind of depth of malt flavour to it? But then there's other stuff in the guidelines which would kind of suggest that that's not necessarily a requirement either. So, yeah. What do you think?
I'd say it's pretty bang on.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to sort of see where it might not necessarily be meeting it. I think where it talks a bit about hints of chocolate, I don't think it's really meeting that. Actually doesn't really talk much about malt character coming through. So that's really good. I think the spiciness is there, but it tends to be more of like a afterthought once the beer's kind of dried off. Yeah, I think it's pretty darn close to what should be a Belgian double, and it's an absolute banger. Really enjoying this one.
Personally, I wouldn't see myself scoring this like any lower than in the 40s somewhere myself. But yeah, I think I was just kind of alluding to the at the very top. There is an overall impression there talks about moderately strong and malty kind of flavour profile, rich malty aroma. So it just depends if you would interpret that where it's more of that fruity kind of sugary flavour, if you would maybe see that as it being a bit lacking on that front. I think it's just a different perception of the malt as opposed to it not being there, but playing devil's advocate for the picky BJCP judge here.
I mean, yeah, I would probably be scoring that. I'd be struggling to score that less than 45. I think. No, there's not really anything that you can call out in terms of faults. It's not really anything that you can call out that's sort of out of style. It's just like, bang on. Love it.
I agree.
Very good. I'm interested to get onto the triple and kind of see what a triple is all about. I'm not sure I've drunk that many triples.
I think the one that you come across in the supermarkets here quite a lot is it's a yellow bottle. I'm trying to remember what the
Leffe?
it is. No, I think Leffe would be...
Leffe's a blonde, isn't it?
No,
I think they do.
What's Duvel?
Yeah.
What's Duvel? No. Tricky, Duvel?
No, although that obviously is a good example of a fairly widely available Belgian beer, but I think that is a golden strong ale rather than a triple. I don't know if Duvel do a triple as such. Perhaps they do. What's the one that I was thinking of? It is Carmelite, triple Carmelite. So I think that one's that one you can find in quite a few supermarkets.
Can't say I've. There you go. There was 2 people in the chat that were there.
Oh yes,
even before you.
I wasn't even looking at the comments that would help me out, rather than me fumbling around with.
There you
Google
go. It's the hive mind. It's the power of group think.
Yeah, some people don't regard that as a particularly great example of a triple, but I find it perfectly decent and nice to drink. So
perfectly acceptable.
A good introduction, anyway, if you've never tried one before. That is fairly easy to get hold of.
I'm not sure. I have to Google it because I actually know what it looks like.
I'm sure you'll recognise the bottle when you see it.
I literally just googled it and I still don't recognise it.
Really?
Obviously, we don't import in Scotland. That's what it is.
Yeah, I sort of recognise not so much the yellow one, but the green one.
The bigger one. Yeah.
The bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure I've really seen that about at the supermarket. But when I do see it, you know what I'm going to be picking up and buying.
Oh, nice factoid there from Thomas in the chat. Carmelites are a branch of Catholic monks, he believes.
Huh. I'll have to fact check Thomas.
Wow,
what he's like.
This one's throwing up a real big foamy head on it.
He's dived in. Trust Tricky to be ploughing on.
Keep the show moving, guys. Got to keep the show moving.
I know.
Very good.
Wow.
Oh, wow, that's a really interesting aroma.
Totally different.
That is. Yeah. That's not what I was expecting, to be honest. As far as
What is that?
what is that? There's like a really distinct.
This is the Rochefort we're on, the triple.
What I need to know
I
is-
didn't even
is-
say what the beer was, did I?
Why is it
Snapped in
extra?
the glass.
What is extra about it?
The aroma.
Because I think is there a Rochefort triple just normal, or is it always extra? I don't know.
I need to get the style guidelines up here.
I am.
Why is it extra? Can anyone tell me in the chat why is it described as extra?
Is that a grainy thing, Tricky, that we're smelling?
It honestly does.
It's like a malt.
I'm trying to place it, and I'm not coming up with much at the moment.
I'm getting. I don't know if it's like the kind of. It's like barley sort of grain.
So yeah, it's quite strange actually. It's
It's
almost
strong.
like a fruity.
It sort of smells a bit like
Horse.
a
Straw.
Nipah.
Hay.
It's kind of like a sort of. It's got a character of a kind of hazy beer,
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
like a
I mean,
hazy Nipah.
It's very hazy as well. Actually, on the appearance. So
I took a sip.
I think it's a combination of hop characteristic and like this really strong honey note.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is.
It's. Yeah. It's a
And
malt.
it's a really like. Can you like imagine opening a jar of local honey, and you get like that super floral note
That's beautiful.
on local honey.
I
That's
feel
how
like
that.
there's a kind of dried apricot thing to it.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the fruit.
I also get that from that German monastic brewery
Andex.
with Andex with their Hefe. You get that kind of dried apricot note.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is amazing.
So I wonder if there's a bit of decoction going on. Do you reckon they ever decoct Belgian beers? Is that a thing? Because the Belgians and the Germans have always kind of had a bit of an interrelationship with brewing methodology, haven't they?
That's
With the interrelationship of the wit beer with the Hefeweizen and quite a bit of bouncing around of style ideas.
Now,
Have you tried
again,
it yet?
jumping a little bit ahead to the aroma, but do you get spiciness on the nose?
I don't. I get mostly mega
No.
apricot honey, sweet malt,
Yeah. No, I
almost bordering like passion fruit.
if you were trying this blind and just going on aroma, I'm not sure you would even pick
Oh,
that
you
out
would-
as being Belgian.
Belgian.
I think you'd probably end up like tying yourself up in knots and going down the hazy beer route. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I think you probably would. But if you have a really, really big whiff of it, like a big inhale, you do get.
This is easy beer than
You do then get some phenolic spiciness.
Really?
Yeah, like if you really breathe in, I think you pick up a phenolic note.
No.
But it's
getting-
pretty mild. It's pretty mild.
I'm struggling to
that
get it. I
honey
think maybe
apricot thing you're talking.
I mean, it smells amazing.
It's
Like,
so good.
I could spend the rest of the evening just smelling this beer.
Wait till you try it. Have you tried it yet?
I haven't even tried it yet. No.
Dude, it is so much better, the flavour as well.
Really?
Like, you think that's good? Wait till you drink it,
I'm
man.
gonna really savor it.
Oh,
I love savouring the smell of a beer. I know that might make me a total wanker.
Oh my god, the flavour's insane.
My wife hates it when I stick my nose into stuff, especially if it's wine. But I really enjoy it, and that might make me a pretentious prick, but and she certainly thinks so. But I really enjoy it.
Mark says he's getting marmalade on toast.
Yeah, I kind of get that. Definitely a marmalade note.
Mm-hmm.
It's apricot jam,
Yeah.
bordering marmalade.
It's so good.
Is there like a slight vanilla kind of?
There is again almost like a creamy.
It genuinely
Creaminess.
smells
Maybe you could lean
You wa-
into vanilla with that.
You
It's
wonder
like-
if there's a bit of sugar in this as well.
It's an OG Nipah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe,
That's it.
maybe not.
These guys were there before all of the craft breweries.
Yeah, there is also sugar in this as well. And in fact, there is orange peel as well, which would explain the orange notes and
Yeah.
and spices.
spices too. So that's probably, if you've got orange peel in there, I would hazard a guess that it's coriander seed.
Coriander
Put into
seed.
it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so good.
Which is interesting because when you now that you know that, when you're drinking it, you kind of go, is there a little bit of a wit beer almost
Yeah.
vibe to this one?
Yeah, you can definitely pick up the orange on the flavour, can't
Well,
you?
shout out to Mark with the marmalade because
Yeah.
that's what you were tasting from that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely picking up the orange on the flavour big time. It's basically like candied orange. It's basically like if you were to take all the chocolate off an orange cream out of a Quality Street. That's what it pretty much tastes like. It's the inside of a orange cream chocolate.
I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head now that you've said that. That's, yeah. Liquidized orange cream chocolate centres.
It is. It's basically that's what it is. Which is maybe not the best thought.
And
to
that
be
concludes
applying.
our review. Of,
That concludes
Short
the
Triple.
review. Anyway, let's get into the guidelines and see what that tells
Yeah.
you.
I mean, as really nice as this is, I feel like this doesn't really match up to the guidelines for a triple that well.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
But
Let's find out.
read through them.
Let's
and see what
find
they are.
out. Andy,
It's so
you-
different to what I've experience of other triples that I've tried as well.
Yeah, Andy, do you want to walk us through the guidelines?
26C.
Yeah.
So it says a strong, pale, somewhat spicy Belgian ale with a pleasant, rounded malt flavour, firm bitterness, and dry finish. Quite aromatic with spicy, fruity, and light alcohol notes combining with a supportive, clean malt character to produce a surprisingly drinkable beverage considering the high alcohol content. Vitals 7.5 to 9.5. For we 8.1.
Yeah, bang in the middle, pretty much.
Yeah, OG 1075 to 1085, final gravity 1008 to 1014, IBUs anything between 20 to 40, EBC 8.9 to 13.8, so yeah, light. Do you want me to go through aroma first, or?
Yeah, let's go with aroma and see where we're at, whether we think it meets the guideline or not.
I mean,
Yeah.
It would be fun.
Did you mention appearance? Because good clarity is on there. And,
Good clarity.
Deep yellow to pale
Struggling
amber.
with that, I think.
Good clarity, effervescent, long-lasting, creamy, rocky, white head, resulting in characteristic Belgian lace in the glass as it fades. Yeah, forgetting that.
Great head.
Yeah, great head. Nice pillow. Yeah, and it's sticking about. I've not really had to tease it or anything.
Oof, that's what she said.
So, aroma. Complex but seamless bouquet of moderate to significant spiciness, moderate fruity esters, low alcohol, low hops and light malt, generous, spicy, peppery, sometimes clove-like phenols. We're not getting that though, are we? Esters often reminiscent of citrus fruit like oranges or lemons. Right, we're getting that. But may sometimes have slight ripe banana character. A low yet distinctive, spicy, floral, sometimes perfumey hop character is optional. Alcohols are soft, spicy, and low in intensity. The malt character is light with soft, slightly grainy sweet. I'm getting that.
Yeah.
Or slightly honey-like impression, which we are.
I wouldn't even say this is probably slightly honey-like impression. This is honey. This is honey in spades, really, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
Massive.
Yeah,
honey
interesting. It obviously talks a bit about citrus fruit like oranges or lemons, but actually contains orange peel. Gilles did perhaps suggest, is that the extra part? I don't know. And I tried to Google this actually as to whether they actually just make a triple rather than a triple extra, and I'm not sure they do. And actually,
it's an extra. I wonder, do you think the extra means it's got extra bits?
well, weirdly, they've got the 4, 6, 8, and 10, but they also have the triple extra. So it's like,
doesn't
so
fit in with the numbering, does it?
it doesn't, does it? Because I don't think the 4 is the blonde, the 6 is the double, and then the 8 and the 10 I think are both quads, which is weird. And then you've got this triple, which is weird.
There you go. Jill says coriander seed is quite common in most triples. He thinks Carmelia, whatever it is, has it in there.
Carmelite.
Carmelia.
That's interesting because it's not. Maybe something the BJCP should have in there, because clearly one of the exemplars has it in there, but they don't mention. Yeah, I mean, in fact, they say spice additions are generally not traditional.
So I found an answer. Thanks to ChatGPT. So Rochefort do not produce a beer simply called triple. So their triple is called triple extra. And the 6, 8, and 10 are all dark beers,
Okay.
as I first thought. So you've got the Rochefort 6, which is a double, 7.5%. You've got a Rochefort 8, which is a sort of, it's just described as a brown strong. So it's like a dark Belgian strong ale, maybe. And then you got the 10, which is the quad. And then, yeah, so I'm going to ask it, what makes it extra? See what ChatGPT's got to answer for. Now, apparently it's stronger than other triples. Debate. What's the style guidelines say?
It was right in the middle, wasn't it? Or,
It was...
Yeah, 7.5 to
lower
9.5%. So it's actually on the slightly lower side, based on the style guidelines.
and I think there are triples that go a bit beyond that as well. I'm pretty sure I've seen them hitting 10%.
Really?
Yeah.
Because triple is basically the blonde strong, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically like a blonde beer, but more hopped and much bigger.
Yeah.
But obviously doesn't quite have that dryness that the blonde has. It doesn't kind of drop off like a cliff like the Westmail Extra did.
No, it lingers.
But equally as it still gets back to that kind of slight dryness where you're just left with that clinging like orange flavour with the kind of almost like at the back of your throat is just that like phenolic hop flavour, like the hop is just sort of spicy, and you've got pepperiness, I find.
Castile Triple, which is supposed to be a very, very good example, is 11% ABV.
Whew.
Now that
Ouchies.
is a naughty beer.
That is a big beer.
Very nice
But it hides
beer.
its strength ridiculously well. I mean, this is 8%, and you're like, you wouldn't know it to be an 8% beer, would you?
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of alcohol warmth on this for me.
Yeah, a little bit. And I think the body gives the impression that it's quite a big beer
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Like coming back to what I would expect from a triple, the body on this seems much fuller, and again, like the kind of hazy Nipah comparisons keep coming back for me. Like it's almost got that body of like a.
It's like get a shit ton of Amarillo in or something. It's just
tastes like it's got quite a lot of adjuncts in it almost.
Citra Amarillo.
I think there are probably West Coast dippers that are lighter in body than this. The mouthfeel says medium light to medium body. I would have said that this probably is a little bit beefier than medium.
You reckon?
I think so.
I'd be saying north of medium for me. Medium full bodied, I think.
It's nice and coating, definite.
It's kind of weird. Like it's quite big mouthfeel initially, but it does sort of dissipate quite quickly.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes from medium high to medium light really quick, which is interesting.
So good.
So the aroma, like, where would we say this is? Like, it's definitely hitting that citrus fruit. It's got a slight ripe banana character. I'd agree with that.
Moderate to significant spiciness is the one where it really misses for me. It's not. I just don't get that.
You do get the perfuminess to it.
Yes, yeah.
And you do get like a spiciness. I think probably more from I get spiciness.
I don't. No, it's...
Do you not? It's coming through now as it warms up. You do get an alcohol note.
Maybe it's that. I think maybe you get a bit of the coriander seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the spices are masking whatever's underneath.
But obviously that comes with that, because coriander also gives you a bit of that orange impression as well, doesn't it? So it's almost like masking it with that kind of apricot-y orange type marmalade-y aroma.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But no, perfumey. It's extremely aromatic. Like whichever way you look at it, it's a very. Hence, Owen, getting very excited with his nose stuck in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty full-on beer, isn't it? It's a pretty full-on beer. It's definitely a sipper.
Oh, you say that. I would say it's quite dangerously drinkable, even though it is fairly full-bodied. But yeah,
it's just packing a lot of flavour, isn't it? It's packing a huge amount of flavour, and it's complex. It is a complex beer. It's a thinking man's beer, that.
I would call it the original Nipah.
Yeah, maybe the OG Nipah before
the West.
Long before
America.
America even started thinking about making anything
medium
but
to high
lager.
bitterness. I think it's fairly low. I think it's fairly low bitterness for me.
Yeah, I think it's quite low. I think it's balanced.
Yes.
But I wouldn't suggest that it's high in bitterness. I wouldn't describe it necessarily as highly hopped either.
But then is this because the alcohol, the reason why you don't think it's bitter is because the alcohol's, it's there offsetting, and then that it's packed with flavour, but then
it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's not really a triple. I think it's a beautiful beer. I feel like it's falling outside of the guidelines quite a lot.
Yeah. Yes and no. I think it's hitting a lot of the aroma characteristics that are described.
Yeah.
I am picking up more spice as I'm getting through it, and it's warming up.
There we go.
I mean, it would be
guidelines
absolutely suicidal,
nonsense.
but it's a shame that we don't have another triple that's like to compare this to. Because I
Yeah.
think I mean, particularly something, I think the Westmalle triple is super spicy,
Yeah.
Is
very
it?
peppery. It's kind of like an amped up version of the extra
blonde
beer that we
they
had before.
Is it?
Um,
I'm not sure
and I
I'd
think if
enjoy
you-
that as
yeah,
much.
to be honest, I don't really like that beer, but that's the one that I think if you were going to compare the two, and the Westmalle is, I presume, one of the Westmalle is one of the exemplars as well. If you were to compare the two, interestingly, the Rochefort is not on the exemplars list actually.
It's not,
Um,
no, which is interesting, right?
Yeah.
Which might imply that actually it is outside of the guidelines. But I decided to be a little bit controversial in the fact that I didn't necessarily want to just buy beers that met the guideline
Yeah, no, I
perfectly.
think that's a good thing to do, isn't it? And
Yeah.
particularly here where it's created quite a point of discussion, because I think this one is if this was being scored by a good BJCP judge, I don't think it would necessarily score well, despite it being a really delicious beer.
Well, Mark Colwell says it's just too sweet, so it's probably not his vibe. In fact, he's gone as far as to say he doesn't think he can finish it.
Okay.
Which, of course, is like, not everything is everyone's flavour, right? Gilles was.
It's supposed to finish dry, isn't it, as well? I mean,
It is supposed
it
to,
dries off a
yeah.
bit, but does it have a dry finish?
Yeah, Gilles said very sweet indeed, not like any triple I'd had either. So it's kind of, there's a good reason why this beer is perhaps not listed as an exemplar, where you might expect it to be a little bit spicier, a little bit drier, perhaps not have dried orange in it, orange peel. I don't know whether that's typical. Chat will tell me, but yeah, and nonetheless, I am still really enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's a good beer.
I don't mind the sweetness myself. I mean, I think it is sweeter than it should be for style, but
It's nice.
If we
I
manage
find
to,
it quite smashable, to be honest. It's
it's very smashable. Yes, it's very, 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 very drinkable. I think if we manage to get through all 4 beers and finish this podcast in 2 hours, I'm probably going to be in a pretty sorry state by the end of it.
cool. Should we crack the next one then?
Let's go to the moon. Yeah, the old 11%er, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is on the exemplar list. No, it's not. So we've got 2 beers in a row that aren't on the exemplar list.
Doing well.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting again just to sort of compare the next beer, the quad, just to see if that perhaps is or isn't really meeting the style guidelines for 26D. But yeah, I'm just going to finish this up and then we'll crack.
What
crack
do you
the
think
next one.
you would need to do with this beer to make it more fitting of the style guidelines? I mean, I don't feel like the orange and the coriander is the main issue. I feel like it's more the actual
Do you think it needs to be
the
drier?
sweetness, the finish, the dryness, the body.
I think so. The bitterness. I think you
The
need to amp the
bitterness,
bitterness.
definitely.
I think you need it to be a lot drier.
Reese, you'll do that and the beer will be absolutely horrendous.
I think if you dried the beer out
Oh
a
yeah,
bit,
you'd ruin it. But
Oh, big time.
yeah, perhaps you would. I think if it was a bit drier, I think that spicy phenolic note would probably come through a bit more as well on the finish. So yeah, hard to say really. Hard to say. So if you guys were going to think about brewing a triple,
Oofed.
or you were thinking about brewing this particular beer,
Yeah.
what would you be thinking about? Starting off with malt bill.
predominantly a Belgian Pilsner malt. I think.
Fingermans.
To be honest, I imagine in most cases, I don't know about this particular beer because it's not, not sure that it's following what would be traditional as such. But as far as the Pilsner malt, other than that, probably just some sugar to dry it out. I don't think you'd necessarily put anything else in there. Maybe a little bit of wheat, perhaps.
Yeah. Chateau Wheat Blanc.
Yeah.
Give
you help with that good head retention and that sort of big fluffy
thing.
Fluffy head on there as well. So
I wouldn't put too much in.
I don't think beyond that there's really much else you'd want to be considering.
So like relatively simple grist then.
Pretty
really just grist. Like a sort of almost single malt type character. Hops? You think it's sort of SARS or?
Yeah, pick a noble hop, pretty much. I think
pick a noble hop, big bittering at the beginning of the boil. Pretty much that's it.
Yeah. If you wanted to get a bit funky and go for something a bit more modern, then something that maybe had a bit citrus note to it,
like an Amarillo or something.
Yeah, an Amarillo could be good.
Yeah, yeah.
Sabro.
What sort of yeast? What sort of yeast? No. I had a talking of Sabro. I had a what's the brewery? One in the West Country. Chris used to really like.
Arbor.
I had an Arbor, and I had that.
My Little Sabroni.
My Little Sabroni beer the other day. It was actually really good. Yeah, it was actually really, really good. That's a sort of almost like single hop Sabro beer.
Yeah.
And you probably wouldn't want any more than one of them, but I actually kind of reminded me of sort of what the Sabro hop's all about.
Yeah. I quite like that beer. I think when I've had it, I've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, it's quite good.
I love Sabro. I'm
Anyway.
it's like the Marmite, you know.
You're one of the outliers.
I love it. Love Sabro. Definitely a favourite hop. It's just that sort of tangerine note that you get from it. The sort of orange tangerine sunscreen thing. I just love it. Creamy.
You adore that. Yeah.
Love it. Yep, definite.
Talus is another one that I'm sort of going to start toying with again. I think Talus is one of those hops that you can kind of add in with a little addition just to kind of add this interesting complexity that brings this pink grapefruit kind of slightly weird herbaceous thing.
I like Talus. I think Talus is a banging hop to put in like West Coast Pilsners. Things like that, because you get a little bit of that almost like spicy kind of noble, almost slight hop character to it, but then like you say, there's the pink grapefruit and yeah.
It's quite a punchy hop as well. I think Talus and Sabro are quite aggressive, punchy hops, so you don't need a lot of them just to sort of add a little spin to the beer, which is always interesting, isn't it?
It was funny, I was actually thinking about the next pale ale that I'll be doing, and I was like, I was thinking Sabro and Idaho 7, because remember we've got the big bags of Idaho 7 Chris sent through.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's cryo as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
is it cryo? Yeah. That could work. That could be quite interesting. Sort of orange, tangerine, coconut vibes. Yeah, it could be good. Nice. Right, are we going to get this?
Last one?
Are we going to get this?
Yeah.
Quad open.
Just while we pour the quad out, I think you mentioned yeast. I don't think we actually said anything about it for the triples.
We didn't. No.
On the with this particular beer, the Rochefort, their yeast apparently is available as homebrew strains. So 1762 Belgian Abbey yeast. WLP White Labs 540 Abbey 4 ale yeast, and Saf Brew T58, although on this sheet it's marked with an asterisk. I'm not exactly sure what that asterisk means because there's no key to it at the bottom, but potentially that's their
which is dried yeast, right?
Which is a dried yeast.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ones you can get in dried form. There are a few other Belgian dry yeasts available, obviously. So apparently, Mangrove Jack's M31 is the Duvel strain.
Okay.
Supposedly, that's available from most of the other liquid yeast manufacturers as well. What else have we got there? I think that's about it. There's not a huge amount of variety as far as dried versions of Belgian yeasts. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I think other than Belgian wit yeast. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So the Rochefort yeast, you can get hold of that, but whether or not T58 is a legitimate dried version of that, I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyway, the quad.
Debate.
Quad, how cool's the bottle?
But other than that, I'd be looking for a very high attenuating yeast for if I was going to do a triple anyway. Just that.
So Straff Hendrick is
It just explode.
It was a little bit lively.
Bit lively, got a bit warm. Is a Bruges based brewery. I've actually had the pleasure of touring the brewery.
Wow.
Half Man?
Yeah, the Half Moon brewery, which is pretty cool. Very traditional. I think from memory, this was a long time ago. Probably getting on 10 years ago. I think it's a traditional gravity-fed brewery. Fantastic tap room. Like, absolutely beautiful tap room. Sort of lots of
cool,
lots of old raw iron and wood beams and cool stuff going on in there. And I kind of remember drinking this beer actually from memory.
You've had this?
Yeah, at the tap room.
At source.
I mean, it's just the double on steroids, isn't it? Basically, that's pretty much what you're getting with a quad.
Definitely getting the phenolics back with the spiciness, but it's still. Oh.
Wow.
I'm kind of getting a nail polish note on mine.
Really?
If I'm honest.
No.
You're not picking that up. There's quite a strong nail polish note on mine.
Yours is fucked.
Yeah. No, there's a bit. I'd get a bit of pear drop.
I mean, I'm getting full white spirit on mine.
Really?
I did. Nope.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I'm not sure if maybe that's just because I'm quite sensitive to that particular aroma or not.
I definitely. I've had that. I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
What, the nail polish remover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a real acetone note.
I've got zero of that, so maybe your bottle's just fucked. Maybe it's in the bottle conditioning.
I'm getting like a sort of toast vibe, burnt toffee, that sort of thing.
Well done.
Beyond the white spirit.
Because your glass on, I notice it's like one of the big bowl ones, and you've got a nice bit of headroom as well.
Yeah.
So mine's is like I'm sniffing right up to the foam, so it's not channeling it as well.
Yeah, it's funneling it right in my nose. So the overall impression of 26D Belgian Dark Strong Ale is a dark, complex, very strong Belgian ale with a delicious blend of malt richness, dark fruit flavours and spicy notes. It's complex, rich, smooth and dangerous. Words of the BJCP. So, on the aroma, we're expecting a complex and fairly intense mix of rich maltiness and deep fruit, accentuated by spicy phenols and alcohol. The malt character is moderately high to high and has a deep, bready, toasty base with dark caramel notes, which I'm picking up, but no impression of dark or roasted malt. So it's not going to kind of give you that impression of roast malt,
It's
stout type vibes.
portery.
Esters are strong to moderately low, so that's quite a big range, and reminiscent of raisins, plums, dried cherries, figs, dates, or prunes. Spicy phenols like black pepper or vanilla, not clove, may be present as a low to moderate background character. A soft, spicy, perfumey, or rose-like alcohol is low to moderate, but never hot or solvent-like. Hops are usually not noticeable, but if present, can add a light, spicy, floral, herbal character. I'm going to kind of go as far as to say it is very perfumey.
I do get solvency.
See,
Alcohol.
Liam's got it as well. He says I get
Yeah.
acetone smells like walking past a nail salon.
Yeah.
I'm not to the point where I'd say it was unpleasant, but I do definitely get that. It's a pear
Liam's not a
droppy kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not
some of the other stuff that's in the
It
description
is more.
there,
It is more pear droppy now the head's dropped. I don't know
Yeah.
if like the head was accentuating that smell for me because I had a massive head on mine. It's calmed down a bit now. It's kind of rose-like alcohol.
I do struggle to get much else after that. There is a fig like. I think they mentioned figs in the aroma.
Yeah.
Kind of like a figgy pudding type thing. but
Yeah,
it's-
that's what I'm getting.
Yeah. Liam said,
Like,
I'm sure it's burning
thinking
my
about-
eyes.
But I can smell it.
It is definitely boozy. It's definitely quite a lot of alcohol on the aroma.
So Mark's not that. So there must be a variance in the bottles then, because some of us are picking up the acetone and some of us are not actually.
Yeah, I
Mine's
mean,
a
again,
0.
like Owen said, some people may be more sensitive.
No,
Do
I
that.
can pick out acetone, and let's see, when it was in Tennant's Lager once,
Yeah.
I picked it straight out because I'd made a beer with it and
Okay.
I know
well, that's
exactly what it is. So
interesting.
it's not like it's like I get 0 acetone. I'm getting on mine it's phenolics, but then I've still got. I didn't pour the full bottle either. I've still got maybe like that left. So maybe I've not got the yeast in it or something, and the yeast is carrying that.
No, I did the same thing, Andy.
Oh, you still? All right, okay. So you've still
Yeah.
got quite. Aye.
Yeah. I'm just wondering when this is saying that it's not going to go off. It's best before 31st December 2027. But then that's not surprising if it's an 11%
like-
beer.
Yeah, 31st of December 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the numbers on it? SH03.
11227.
Yeah, same batch.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So it could be bottle conditioning.
Could be.
My
But-
one was not a gusher, but it did almost
Yeah.
come out the bottle when I
Pretty
opened
lively, wasn't it?
The flavour's kind of following the aroma for me, to be honest. It's quite
Yeah.
boozy alcohol level. Not sure I'd go as far as saying hot alcohol. It's not sort of burning, fusel alcohol type flavour, but it's not. It's getting close to it.
Yeah, it says smooth but noticeable alcohol warmth. Would you describe the alcohol warmth as smooth?
Yeah.
It's bordering, isn't it? I'd say.
It's got the phenols on the flavour, like, and what you were talking about, that acetone thing. It's got that in the flavour. So it's that phenol sort of acetone type thing, but then it's like
Yeah.
bags of dark chocolatey sort of
Yeah,
it's-
there's like a dark chocolate bitterness to it, isn't there? Almost on the finish, which is quite interesting.
Jill
quite
did make
thin.
Jill make a good point, which is perhaps just a case of letting it breathe for a minute and just kind of sort of perhaps let some of those
Yeah.
aromas, which might be
Flash
quite
off.
volatile, just sort of
Yeah.
flash off.
I think Mark's mentioned brandy a couple of times, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get that.
I
I
can
was
see
getting
why.
porter. See, it was saying in the notes it's not a stout, but I was like, there's definitely like when you let it linger, the after flavors you get that sort of dark porter type thing. So it's almost like what do you call brown malt, or you know how it's not like roasted barley, but
Yeah,
it's more that kind of brown malt, which is slightly less.
almost like a chocolate note that gets left on the palate. No, almost
Chocolate malt.
like a burnt sugar, or almost a chocolate note that's left on the palate, almost as an after flavour, afterthought. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it has a roast character on the flavour as you
No.
drink it. I wouldn't describe it as roasty.
It's like chocolate malt or something. It's that sort of what you get in a porter, where it's the
Yeah,
difference between a porter and a stout. Sometimes is that it's not, it's not that pure roasted character that comes through. But it's the dark malt, so I wonder if it's like, would you think Caramunic or something, or what would be the malts that would go into this?
I mean they typically, like these sorts of beers, tend to have quite a complex malt bill, or at least can do, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna look up a recipe.
I was going to do the same, just kind of see what a Belgian quad typically has. I think Brew Your Own website's always geared. They've suggested Pilsner malt, special beer, candy sugar, and that's it, which is interesting.
Dark candy sugar, presumably again.
Dark candy sugar, lots and lots of base malt, and then just something adding a lot of colour, which assumably would be the special
Grappa.
B.
Yeah.
There's quite a few different options yeast wise. Recommendations around Y yeast 1214, Y yeast 3422, which is the Belgian Ardenne yeast. The prior one that I mentioned was Belgian Abbey style ale. The Y yeast 3822 PC, Belgian dark ale. Or White Labs 550, which is the Belgian ale yeast. So they're suggesting grain bill here: floor malted Pilsner, Munich malt, special B, and aromatic malt. Aromatic malt and special B, both obviously adding the colour as well as the flavour. So they're actually not as complex, perhaps, as I thought it might be on the grist. Some people are saying use Cara 50, Cara 200, maybe some biscuit malt,
Yeah.
brown candy sugar. So there's a bit more like some crystal type malts going in there. Lots of different options.
It's
I mean, I don't
definitely
know.
the alcohol.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of that alcoholic, slightly acetone-like character, but I'm not necessarily getting much complexity of malt flavour from this.
Yeah.
It almost, I think, did you say you felt like it was a little bit thin almost,
It was
Andy,
quite
as well?
dry. Yeah, I did. Yeah, so it's quite dry in it.
Surprisingly so for such a strong beer, because obviously, even though you can have quite strong beers that will finish quite dry, normally because the amount of alcohol, it will still have quite a full,
Yeah.
sweet kind of body to it.
It's not like that triple. The triple was way thicker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even the double as well, which was
Yeah. Yeah.
significantly less alcohol. It's yeah.
I guess the the dryness would be contributing to that level of alcohol, wouldn't it? You know, you might you can have MPs that can end up quite not dry but thin. Can't you? You can have quite a thin 10% impy.
Yes.
Which personally I'm not a big fan of. I like my impy to be chunky, chewy.
I mean, on the vital stats for this, it's saying that the FG can be as low as 1010. You know, presumably that would be when you're at the lower end of the ABV range as well. But even so, if you're an 8-9% beer that's down at 1010, that's going to be pretty dry finishing and perhaps a little bit thin as a result.
Yeah, it's going to perceive as being thin and dry, isn't it?
Look, a lot of the guys in the chat are saying like my lips are glazed more than a tippy council tart. It's like it is still sweet. It's like that sort of thin body, but still like a lot of lingering sweetness, isn't there?
Yeah, there's almost like alcohol sweetness to it, isn't there?
Yeah,
A perceived sweetness as well. I think if there's a lot of dark Belgian candy sugar, which seems to it seems to be like how you kind of add a lot of the colour to the beer, is gonna like naturally have quite a bit of like a sugary character to it. It's very much like a sort of molasses type vibe, isn't it?
Mark's come round. He's getting acetone now as well.
I think as it warms up.
Oh,
Because I took mine straight out of the fridge. I take it yours guys had your bottle sitting beside you.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine was staying cool.
So I wonder if
mine's warmed up a fair bit because I had the bottles out on the side since probably an hour before the pod started. So
Yeah, it's definitely like a very perfumey, like it is acetone, but it's quite a perfumey, like rose-like alcohol note. It's not out and out like nail polish, but
I'm not.
I wouldn't have gone
if you were
as far
judging
as
it, would you tick that box though?
I think I probably would. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, for sure. And I think there's probably another reason why like this beer wasn't necessarily listed as a exemplar.
I'm sure that I've had this before, and it, vague as my memory is of it, I'm sure last time I had this, it was better. So I don't know.
Yeah,
and generally the beers that I've
changed.
had from this brewery have been very good. I think their triple is a really good beer. Again, I mean, maybe not follow that advice too strongly based off of this one, perhaps. But yeah, I don't know. It's not really doing it for me, to be honest. This one.
I'm not sure it's really doing it for me either. So I think we might conclude that beer is not our favourite. But how let's talk about the point of the podcast, which is the BJCP guidelines.
Yes.
And how this beer compares to it.
Yeah.
So let's be objective.
Yep.
And let's say on the aroma, what are we talking about? We're talking about it should have rich maltiness and deep fruit.
Which it does.
Accentuated by spicy phenols and alcohol.
Yeah, I'm getting
So
that.
I guess it depends how far you excuse the slight acetone
I don't get that. That's
hair
the
drop thing
So
as alcohol or hot, because it's kind of like if it's hot alcohol or if it's fusel alcohols or if it's acetone, that should be treated as an off flavour, really, or an off aroma.
Well, it would be,
case.
yeah, it would be for sure, and that's hard to see past. But if you are going to see past it, what's beneath it?
Yeah,
which is like a really lovely dark plum fig note.
yes,
There is really rich maltiness. Yeah, I'm getting that.
There's some phenolic as well, spicy
Yeah.
phenolic on there.
Yeah. Get that by the truckload.
It should have a the malt character
They
should
do
be
say
moderate.
specifically rose-like alcohol, don't they?
They
Which is
do.
interesting.
Yeah, and they're sort of talking about a bready, toasty base with dark caramel notes.
What does it say about the rose? Is it in the flavour or the aroma?
Yeah, we'll get to that bit in a sec. So we've got bready, toasty base with dark caramel
Right.
notes. Are we getting that? I'm not sure we are. I think we're getting dark caramel notes, but maybe not bready, toasty base, in my opinion.
I think there was at one point I was getting a fleeting sort of toast, like brown bread thing off of it, but it's not. Yeah, it seems to have kind of
Not quite
vanished
there.
a little bit. It's not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really carried through.
But there should be no impression of dark or roasted malt, which I think we've agreed is true. The esters are strong to moderately low, and reminiscent of raisins, plums, dried cherries, figs, dates, or prunes, which I think is definitely there. Spicy phenols like black pepper or vanilla, but not clove. Are we getting any clove? I don't think I'm getting any clove. I'm getting vanilla.
It's just phenols, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure about vanilla.
Not sure about black pepper either. Okay. A soft, spicy, perfumey or rose-like alcohol is low to moderate, but never hot or solvent-like, and that's probably our biggest issue. It's the fact that is it soft, is it perfumey, is it rose-like, or is it solvent-like?
So
That's really the debate. I think it's leaning, for me, too far into the solvent-like rather than the prior.
Yeah, I feel like it ticks all the boxes as far as descriptors up until the point where you hit that. Is it solvent-like? Yes, there is an aspect of it that's solvent-like. So
Yeah.
you're gonna knock it down a bit for that.
you guys have got a different bottle.
Unless
Or
you've got unless you've got Andy's experience of it, which might be different. So
it's like I'm not getting that solventy sort of acetone nail polish remover thing. It's like all I'm getting is like this nice like phenolics with that sweetness that that you get with that figgy thing that we're getting, and it's nice. So I'm wondering if the bottle conditioning is what's screwing it here, because that's the only thing on the batch. We're in the same batch of bottles, so it's literally what's happened in that bottle
Yeah.
is what's changed it
Yeah,
between us.
absolutely right. Yeah. It's either the way it's been treated or it's how they've conditioned the beer since it got into the bottle. So yeah, there could be some variation there.
Was it a hot day when your crate got left out on the porch, and all of a sudden it's like that's why Tricky's is slightly overcarbonated, because it's live yeast in the bottle.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people in the chat that have got the same beer and they're also getting the same kind of vibe. So anyone's guess, but who knows? Who knows? But I'm glad you've got a bottle that isn't wrought with a solvent-like character. So on to hops. Hops. Are we getting any? They're not usually noticeable. I'm not picking up really any hops at all.
I don't know hop character.
What about appearance? We've got deep amber to deep coppery brown in colour, which I think's like pretty much bang on.
Yeah.
So good there. Huge, dense, moussey, persistent cream to tan, light tan coloured head, usually clear.
There's the colour there.
Yeah, head's pretty persistent. Flavour is rich and complex maltiness, but not heavy in the finish. What do you think?
It's red, isn't it?
Is it rich and complex in maltiness?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But not heavy in the finish. I don't think it lingers on too long. It sort of drops off quite quick. It's sort of, you've got a bit of an aftertaste in your throat, back of your tongue, but it's not like cloying to your. It's quite light in the sense of like, this is such a heavy beer that you can imagine that sort of cloying to your tongue for quite a long time, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it does stick around for a little bit, but it's not forever. But yeah, it's still. I mean, it still lingers to an extent. It doesn't just drop off straight away or anything. Because I mean, I can still taste it as I'm talking just now, sort of thing. You know.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've sort of made I've made some pretty bad stouts in the past that like you sort of drink and you're like, God, I can still taste like 20 minutes later, you know, after like having 2 sips.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like on and after drinking whiskey.
Yeah. So then we've got flavour characters similar to the aroma, say malt, ester, phenol, alcohol, hop comments apply. Moderately malty rich on the palate, which I don't think there's any different to the prior point. Give a sweet impression, even if the bitterness is low. It's usually moderate to dry finish, although maybe up to moderately sweet. I'd say it's quite a moderately dry finish.
Yeah, it's definitely dry.
Yeah, it sort of dissipates quite quickly. That's not too bad. Medium low to moderate bitterness. Yeah, I wouldn't describe the beer as bitter. I'd describe the beer as balanced.
Yeah.
Alcohol provides some balance. The malt, generally malty rich balance, but can be fairly even with bitterness. The complex and varied flavours should blend smoothly and harmoniously, and often benefit from age. The finish should not be heavy or syrupy. Which I don't think it's, as we've talked about, I don't think there's a heavy syrupy kind of finish to the beer.
There was the guys did mention it being quite sweet though, like sticking on the lips type.
Yeah, I think that's just like fairly atypical of
About
this
11% beer.
this style of beer, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the fact that it is does present as quite a sweet beer. I'm not, as long as it's not heavy or syrupy.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say no chance. It's no. It's got a nice. It's like a thin body that just makes it. Probably brings back the drinkability of such a high ABV beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
I'd agree.
It's still. I mean, I'm taking my time on it. It's not like it's going down super quick, and the size of bottle's perfect. The 330s is great.
Well, I've only got that left, which is like not a great deal. So I've been getting my way through it, but then with that said, we've been trying to taste it just to be able to validate against the guidelines.
Yep.
Mouthfeel, high carbonation but not sharp. Smooth but noticeable alcohol warmth.
Yep.
Body can range from medium light to medium full and creamy. Most are medium bodied. And I'd probably say this is like medium high.
Body?
Really?
I'd say medium light.
Yeah.
It's more towards the light.
Yeah, it's probably lighter than the triple, isn't it, that we had?
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, the triple was like medium and medium high.
For a beer, I think I said this before. For a beer this strong, I'd expect it just to be a lot fuller through
Thicker.
just through the alcohol content. But
I wonder if that's how they've got the alcohol tricky, is because they've burnt through that sort of the sugars, and that's why it's drier, and that's how they've got an 11% or whatever, because it's like 10,006 or something like that. I mean, what is the final grade? No, 1010. It's meant to be 1024.
Yeah, we were reflecting the fact that the 1010 finishing gravity is possibly related more to the lower ABV range. I think when we're at the upper range of that, it's probably unlikely to be finishing at 1010. That would be very dry for this style of beer.
I'm suggesting that we get an Anton Parr unit out of the Hop Edition funds so that we can test these beers.
So we can test it. Yeah, but can we?
Yeah.
We probably can't because it's
Who's going to keep
it's
that
got
one?
because it's obviously me. That's not really even a debate.
Amazing.
But you can't.
It
you
shall
can't.
be mine.
It will be mine. Yeah. All right. We're going to need 3. But you can't use it with the alcohol in it, right? Like it.
No,
so-
the Anton Parr you can.
Yeah,
that's the
no,
thing.
that's what's.
can you?
That's
Yeah,
what's so,
that's
cool
what I
about those
suggested.
ones.
Yep.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like you get the small sample and it'll tell you
It's
the final
basically
gravity.
like lab equipment, really.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So,
Yeah. it's cool.
I'm not sure we can justify that spend
No,
just for the purposes
I mean,
of going.
yeah, I mean,
hold
I
on,
was
guys.
trying to
Snip
be
at,
funny
like,
here, but-
400 quid or whatever.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny.
Ha
Haha.
ha. Very good.
Mark
So-
says thanks for the merch, Hop Edition crew. Yeah,
Nice.
different package that was.
You're welcome. I'm rocking the
cheers.
new T-shirt. So if anyone wants one of these, come join as a Patreon because we have a lot of good chat and fun on our Discord, which is always good, fun. Mostly scientific and educational conversation, but sometimes there's some banter.
Yeah.
But I've actually, for the most part, getting aside from the acetone vibes, which I think have partly calmed down, or either that I've just got used to them.
Yeah.
I actually quite enjoyed this bit. I think the kind of it does, in my mind, meet the kind of core of what this style is about.
Yeah.
And we've sort of got through most of it and said, yeah, you know what, actually it does. It's really just been let down by that kind of acetone-y kind of aroma. I think if that wasn't there, this would be, for me, fairly on the spot. So I think if I was scoring this, I'd probably have given it, after consideration, probably like a 37.
Still quite high.
That's quite generous.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think
I thought
yeah.
it's
How much do
34,
you deduct for an off flavour?
A lot.
A lot. BJCP judges will. I don't
Yeah.
think you're getting 37 if there's any off flavour in it at all. To be honest.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Think even though like the rest of it is like bang on
Well, I mean,
style?
as far as my experience of how beers are judged in competition generally, anyway, I think any kind of off flavour is generally knocking you down into low 30s at best.
Absolute
probably high
banhammer.
20s.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fair dues.
Whether or not that's correct, I would say with this particular beer style, because there's so much mention of alcohol in the descriptors of the style, there's a there's a point to argue with this particular beer as to whether
You get what we're about.
that alcohol flavour is bordering into solventy or not. So I think there's definitely an argument to be had on that front. But I think basically if the judge does interpret it as solvent-like or acetone, then they're probably going to knock you down by 8 to 10 points probably overall, because they're going to go the aroma, we're knocking that down to maybe 6 or a 7 because it smells solventy. You're getting a bit of that on the flavour as well, we're probably knocking that down to an 8 or a 9, and then you've lost probably
it's a compounding
10 points anyway.
effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Overall score is going to be knocked down by a point or two as well. So, yeah, it may be a minor off flavour or not particularly prominent off flavour, but if it knocks points off of all of those big categories, then your score's going to suffer.
It's disappointing, isn't it? Because I think it shouldn't be there, but it is there. It's hard. Like I'm still swirling the very last of it, and there's still just a very strong strong aroma of acetone.
Yeah, I still get it.
Which would suggest that there's some fusel alcohols in this, and I suspect my head might not be feeling too great in the morning.
Oh, tomorrow, yeah.
We'll see, but good. guys, I think we have concluded episode 123 with a wonderful walkthrough of Monastic Ales. Some have been great. Personally, I'm definitely going to be exploring St. Bernardus a bit more.
That's what I was going to ask. What's your favourite beer of the night?
Beer of the night. I'm going to say St. Bernardus Pat 6. I think was probably my favourite out of all of them. I did enjoy the Roquefort Triple Extra, even though it wasn't to guideline per se. I actually really enjoyed that beer.
It was my favourite.
I think the triple was my favourite, but it wasn't a triple. As far as I'm concerned.
Probably why I liked it so much.
Yeah, it might well be. You probably hate an authentic triple.
I actually really enjoyed the double, and I think I'm going to check out the rest of the St. Bernardus beers and enjoy that. So, guys, cool. I think episode 123 is in the bag. I just want to call out next episode, which is coming at you for your diaries in 2 weeks' time on Saturday 20th of September, which we are going to be joined by some guests. Guests you may be familiar with because they are returning guests. We're going to have Hoddy plus gang coming back to talk to us about Maverick Brewing Co. Couple of years into their journey. If you've not checked out their YouTube channel, Hoddy's been doing an amazing job of just journaling his experience, I think, of setting up the brewery and how it's all been going, which has been fantastic to watch along on. So check out Maverick Brewing Co. on YouTube. We're going to be doing a drink along. There's going to be a curated drink along pack from Maverick Brewing Co. So go over to maverickbrewingco.com. There is a Hop Edition 6-pack that you can purchase. Use a discount code, which is the Hop Edition 15 for 15% off that 6-pack, which Hoddy assures me he's rolling out site-wide as well. So it is Hoddy on the Poddy Part 2. So it's going to be enabled site-wide, but I don't think site-wide is live tonight. In case you are going to jump straight over there, just bear that in mind. If you are planning on buying some more beers, check out the site tomorrow. I think Hoddy just needs to tweak something. But if you're just planning on buying the 6-pack, you can go there tonight, use that discount code. I believe that there are a number of beers in that 6-pack that they were serving at LCBF. If anyone was following along with their YouTube channel, Hoddy documented the LCBF journey pretty well. As I remember, they had a sour on, a fruited sour, which I think Tricky and I tried. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Do you remember, Tricky?
Not a clue.
Oh, what was it called?
Super fans.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe mango and passion fruit, but it was really good. There was loads.
It was an
of fruit.
Excellent beer. I can back you up on that one.
It was quite big. It was super thick. It had loads of fruit in it. It was a really fun beer. I really enjoyed that. Hopefully Big Bird's in there, but I don't know yet. I need to check it out. But it's going to be super fun to catch up with Hoddy and the team that are going to be. I think it's Kristen's going to be joining. No, not Kristen. Kirsty, forgive me, and possibly another part of the team joining. So it should be fun. Put that in your diary. It's going to be awesome. We're going to dive to an after party. I've just dropped the link in the chat. Other than that,
was the
guys,
beer, by the way,
we're done.
Sour beer, Smoosh.
Smoosh. That was it. That was what the big fruit sour was called. So yeah, the link's in the chat if you want to come join us at the after party. It's just a easy going, bit of banter, bit of chat about brewing, etc.
Yeah, if you're scared,
me, Andy, and Tricky have drunk numerous exceptionally high alcohol strength beers. No nights.
See you on the afters, people. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.